Hi everyone, it's Sandy, and in today's video I'm doing the mid-year book freakout tag, and I know it's already halfway through July, but I'm doing this tag anyways. This tag was originally created by Chammy from Is That Chammy and Ellie from Earl Grey Books. I will leave the link to both of their channels and their original tag video in the description box below. The first question in this tag is the best book you've read so far in 2018. I just can't choose one book for this question, so I'm going to choose my top 3 so far this year. They are in no particular order, but the first one is The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed. This book follows 3 high school girls as they create this anonymous group to resist the sexist culture at their high school. This book is amazing. If you like the female of the species, I think you will really enjoy this book as well. The next book that I really loved is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I'm sure you all know what this book is about, but it follows our main character Zaylee, who is fighting to bring magic back to her people. The author frequently describes this book as Black Panther but with magic. And the third book that I'm choosing for this question is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. This book has to do with superheroes and supervillains. It follows our 2 main characters, Nova, who is an anarchist, and then the second character is named Adrian, who is a renegade. Renegades are supposedly the superheroes and they are known as the good guys, and the anarchists are typically known as the bad guys. Nova wants to get revenge on the renegades for something that happened in her past. She and Adrian encounter one another and the story goes from there. As much as I do love the Lunar Chronicles, I think this is my favorite Marissa Meyer book, and I can't wait for the sequel. The second question in this tag is the best sequel you've read so far this year, and I honestly haven't read many sequels, but a sequel that I recently read and really enjoyed is Wildcard by Marie Lu. This is a sequel and also the final book to the Warcross duology. Warcross is a sci-fi book. It has to do with virtual reality. Our main character is a hacker, and this book pretty much picks up where the last book left off. I do have to admit that I didn't enjoy the plot of this book as much as I did with the first book, but I still thought it was a really great sequel. It was action-packed and I really liked how the story wrapped up. So this is definitely my favorite sequel that I've read so far this year. The third question is a new release you haven't read yet but want to. My answer for this question is A Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir. This is the third book in the Ember in the Ashes series. The third book came out in June and I haven't gotten around to picking it up yet. I recently reread the first 2 books and I really enjoyed it. I forgot how much I enjoy an Ember in the Ashes. I actually finished rereading the second book yesterday, so I really want to jump into the third book, but I don't have a copy of it yet. I'm waiting for my library hold on it to come through, so hopefully that happens soon. I'm really excited to see where the story goes. I've been hearing a lot of great things about the third book, so I can't wait to get my hands on this book and to pretty much devour it. The fourth question is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I actually recently posted a video like in May talking about all the books that I'm excited for that are coming out towards the second half of the year, so definitely check out that video. I will link it down below, but my number 1 most anticipated would definitely have to be Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. This is the 3rd and final book in the Dark Artifices trilogy. After where the second book left off, I just really need the 3rd book in my hands. I need to know how it ends, and I heard that it takes place within a span of a week. That kind of has me nervous. I don't know why, but oh my god, I'm getting all emotional again thinking about the ending of the second book. But Cassandra Clare has been posting like little snippets of lines that are in Queen of Air and Darkness, and there was one that she recently posted that just hit me in the feels. I don't think I'm emotionally ready for the 3rd book, to be honest, but I'm super excited for it. The next question is biggest disappointment, and I really hate that I have to choose this book for this question because there really aren't any other books that I was more disappointed in, and that book is From Twinkle with Love by Sandhya Menon. If you've seen my June wrap-up, I talked about why I didn't like this book very much in it, so check that out if you want to hear more details. This book follows Twinkle, who is an aspiring filmmaker. She has a crush on this boy named Neil, who has a twin brother named Sahil, who approaches Twinkle to help direct a movie. But as she's working with Sahil, she's starting to develop feelings for Sahil, and Sahil does have a crush on Twinkle. It's pretty much stated at the beginning of the story. But at the same time all of this is happening, Twinkle is receiving emails from a secret admirer who she thinks is Neil. So there's a lot going on when it comes to the romance and relationship, and I didn't enjoy the secret admirer plot. That's the main reason why I didn't enjoy this book very much. I felt like it was unnecessary because I thought it was really predictable who the secret admirer was, and with the secret admirer it just causes Twinkle to go back and forth with her feelings for Sahil, and I just didn't like that because Sahil was just a really sweet guy and she was kind of stringing him along, and it just really frustrated me to read about it. I really wanted to love this book, but unfortunately it became a disappointment because of this whole secret admirer plot. The next question is biggest surprise, and I'm going to have to go with Ramona Blue by Julie Murphy. When I first picked this book up, I didn't think I would enjoy this book as much as I did. I actually listened to the audiobook, and I would highly recommend the audiobook. This book follows Ramona, who is working multiple jobs to help support her family. Her family lives in a trailer. It's just her dad, and her pregnant sister. Her mom is still alive, but she's not really in the picture, and she's really unreliable. And one day, this guy named Freddie moves back to town. Freddie and Ramona used to be pretty good friends when they were younger, but then Freddie moved away, so now he's back in town, and they start hanging out. They're friends all over again. Ramona does like girls, and she never really had an interest in guys, but now that she's spending more time with Freddie, she's starting to develop feelings for him. So this book does have to do with sexual fluidity, and I loved how that was handled throughout the book. This book is definitely not a story about a girl who meets a guy that turns her straight. It's so much more than that. I loved all the different relationships in this book, and I also really enjoyed seeing Ramona fall in love with swimming. Overall, this book was amazing. I really enjoyed it. It's the first Julie Murphy book that I read. I would highly recommend it. I didn't think I would hate this book, but I also didn't expect to love it as much as I did, and I really did enjoy this book. So that's definitely my biggest surprise so far this year. The next question is favorite new author, and I have two authors that I wanted to mention for this question. The first author is Stacey Lee. I actually listened to her book Outrun the Moon earlier this year, and I just loved it. It's a YA historical fiction that takes place in the early 1900s in San Francisco, following our main character Mercy Wong. She is Chinese American, she's living in Chinatown, and she wants to further her education at this private school, but because she's Chinese and she's poor, she's not allowed to enroll. So she does make a deal with like the principal at the school, and she does get in, and the story goes from there. I really love this book. I saw myself represented in it. The next author that I wanted to mention is Nick Stone. She is the author of Dear Martin. I read this book earlier this year. Again, loved it so much. It's a really quick read. It follows our main character Justice McAllister, who is set for an Ivy League school. One day he and his best friend go on a drive, and they're playing really loud music, and they pass this cop who isn't on duty. Words are thrown around, shots are fired, Justice's best friend is shot and killed. This book was just so moving. It was so powerful. If you love The Hate U Give, you would definitely love this book as well. Nick Stone does have a book coming out later this year called Odd One Out. I look forward to reading more from this author, and I can't wait to pick that book up. The next question is newest fictional crush, and I really don't have an answer for this question. But if I had to pick one, I would probably pick Sahil from Twinkle with Love by Sandhya Menon. I know I picked this book earlier for The Biggest Disappointment, but I really like Sahil's character. There was one thing in this book that he did that I really didn't like, but overall, he was the sweetest guy. He was always super caring of Twinkle, and I just really liked how he and Twinkle interacted with one another. He's not necessarily my fictional crush, but I really liked him as a love interest. The ninth question in this tag is newest favorite character, and I would probably have to go with Nova from Renegades by Marissa Meyer. Nova is made out to be the villain in the story, but she's just such a complex character, and I loved her for that. I love her, and I can't wait to read more of her in the next book. The next question is a book that made you cry, and honestly, I can't think of any book that had made me cry this year. There have been a couple books that made me tear up, but not necessarily bawling my eyes out, so I think I'm going to have to pass on this question. The next question is a book that made you happy, and I'm going to go with Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. This is a companion novel to Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda. The thing that made me really happy in this book is seeing Simon and his boyfriend. I just couldn't stop gushing over them. They are the cutest, and they warmed my heart very much. And speaking of Simon vs., the next question is my favorite book to movie adaptation that I saw this year. I would have to go with Love, Simon, which is the adaptation for Simon vs. I honestly don't think I saw many book to movie adaptations in the first half of this year. There are a few coming out towards the end of the year that I'm really looking forward to, like The Darkest Minds, The Hate U Give, To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Super excited for all of those book to movie adaptations, but the only one that I saw this year was definitely Love, Simon, and I really enjoyed that movie, so that would be my default answer. The next question is my favorite video that I did so far this year. I started doing more bookish and reading vlogs this year, and I really enjoy filming those, so my answer would definitely be all the bookish vlogs that I've done lately. The 14th question is the most beautiful book that I bought so far this year, and I know I already chose this book earlier in this tag, but I can't help but choose it again, and that is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Just look at this cover. It's beautiful. There's even a beautiful map in this book, and the naked cover looks beautiful as well. And you all already know how I feel about this book. It's amazing, so definitely pick it up if you haven't read it yet. And the last question for this tag is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? There are definitely a lot of books that I need to pick up by the end of the year. I'm planning on filming my summer TBR after I film this video, so that will definitely give a good chunk of books that I want to get through before the end of the year. But I definitely do want to pick up Furyborn by Claire Legrand. What I know about this book is that it follows two main characters characters. There is a prophecy in this book about two queens. One is a queen of blood and the other is a queen of light, and these queens have the ability to perform all 7 types of elemental magic. One of the main characters is named Riel, and she accidentally exposes her ability to do so. So in order to prove what type of queen she is, she goes through this trial. The trials are very dangerous, so she can die pretty much going through the trials, or if she fails in the end, she will be executed. The other character is Eliana. Her mother has disappeared and she goes on this dangerous mission with a rebel captain to find her. So this is definitely a book that I really want to get to before the end of the year. Those are all the questions for this tag. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you next time. Bye!